coming so late?
Madam Deputy was holding on. That is what caused this.
This one? This communication?
Madam.
You where? Naona tumechelewa sana.
Weka chini. Weka hapo chini. What happened? Sasa tena tunakosa.
Honorable members, let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. I direct that the division bell be rung for 10 minutes.
just about. Cheti yake itakuja tu ya kuliwa hapa ndani.
You know, they had said the committee had not I think what I told
We may proceed.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I wish to introduce to you a delegation of members of the Committee on Lands and Human Wildlife Conflict Resolution from the Assembly of Taita Taveta County, who are seated in the Speaker's Gallery. The delegation comprises of the following: the Honorable Joseph Mwalenga, MCA Chairperson; the Honorable Nancy Mwakio, MCA Committee Member; the Honorable Shingira, MCA Committee Member. The delegation is accompanied by 3 members of staff of the County Assembly. Honorable members, the delegation visited the National Assembly to present a memorandum on human-wildlife conflicts in Taita Taveta County to the Departmental Committee on Tourism and Wildlife, which commenced an inquiry into matters of human-wildlife conflict in the county Suomoto. Honorable members, on my own behalf and that of the National Assembly, I welcome them to the Parliament and wish them fruitful deliberations. Thank you.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to lay papers. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, 19th October 2023. Response of the Auditor General of Financial Statements in respect of the following programs for the year ended 30th June 2023 and the certificates therein: Infrastructure Finance and Public-Private Partnership, the National Treasury; Infrastructure Finance and Public-Private Partnership, the National Treasury; Program for Rural Outreach of Financial Innovations and Technologies, the National Treasury; Rural Kenya Financial Inclusion Facility, the National Treasury; and the Public Financial Management Reforms Program, the National Treasury. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay.
Next is the Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Tourism and Wildlife.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Thursday, 19th October 2023. Report of the Departmental Committee on Tourism and Wildlife on its consideration of Wildlife Conservation and Management Amendment Bill of National Assembly number 3 of 2023. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Chairperson, Committee on Regional Integration. Next is the chairperson, Select Committee on NGCDF. Honorable Osoro, you are distracting the chairperson, NGCDF.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Thursday, 19th October 2023. Report of the Select Committee on National Government Constituency Development Fund on its consideration of the National Government Constituency Development Fund Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 13 of 2023. I beg to lay.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
The Honorable David Gekaria, Chairperson for Environment, Forestry and Mining Committee.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to indulge your a decision here. Honorable Speaker, yes, we have a response, but Honorable Speaker, the response is not satisfactory. We met as a committee and we discussed about the responses that we were given. If you look at the response, basically the summary of the response vis-a-vis the annexures which are given, Honorable Speaker, we don't think this response is enough to answer the questions that were raised by Honorable the Member of Parliament from Lamu East, Mheshimiwa Loaida. So I was seeking your indulgence to allow us to go back to the ministry and ask for a more sufficient response that can be able to address the very same issues that were raised by the Honorable Loaida. And I'm saying this, Honorable Speaker, the summary talks about that the emissions of the gas from the well, they are not hazardous. But if you look at the annexures, it has given a report which was done between the Ministry of Environment and Petroleum, and they are saying within a radius of 1 kilometer, there is no vegetation, there is no livestock, and there are no houses or any people living around that place. And then you say, again, it is not hazardous. So we want to indulge you that you allow us 1 more week, and maybe hopefully next week on Wednesday, we could be able to give a more, we'll ask the ministry to give a more substantive response. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
That's in order. I grant your request. Leader of Majority, you have a statement on preparedness on Lino.
Honorable Speaker, I have 2 statements. One, the usually Majority Leader statement on Thursday, but I would wish to present the statement on sanitary towels first. Then I could go to the Thursday statements. Is that okay? Okay. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. We have a response to questions on concerning availability of female hygiene products in schools by the Hon Ichungwa, Leader of Majority. Honorable Speaker, it's a lengthy statement, but I'll try to get it shortened a little bit. So that the sanitary towel programs for girls in public schools was first launched in 2011 under the Ministry of Education, but briefly transferred to the Ministry of Public Service, Youth and Gender Affairs on the 2017-2018 financial year with a budget of Kenya shillings 470 million before the program reverted back to the Ministry of Education. However, during the current financial year, 2023-2024, the program was transferred back to the Ministry of Public Service, Gender and Affirmative Action, and to be implemented by the State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action. The program has a critical role to play in addressing issues of gender equity and in pursuant in pursuit of the government's commitment to achieve Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, and the Kenya Vision 2030 and the Constitution of Kenya 2010. The provision of sanitary towels has ensured access, retention, performance, and transition of the vulnerable girls in the region across the country. The girls now use hygienic methods to manage their menstrual health. All target schools have designated female teachers in charge, and menstrual hygiene training and information is provided to by the girls. Honorable Speaker, the Minister of Education through the State Department for Basic Education has been coordinating the sanitary towels program, whose overall objective is to provide sanitary towels to all menstruating girls, both in public, primary, and special schools, through the school calendar across the country. In the financial year 2022-2023, the Ministry of Education received Kenya shillings 470,000 for the implementation of the program. This amount was used to procure sanitary towels for 1,682,492 girls in class 6 to class 8 in all public primary schools. The Ministry of Education has been distributing 7 packets of pads per girl per year. The sanitary towels were delivered in the month of April to June 2023, and will be able to take the girls up to December 2023, when the procurement for the 2023-2024 is concluded. The approval of the financial year 2023-2024 allocating for the program under recurrent budget of the State Department for Basic Education is Kenya shillings 940 million. Yes. However, the expenditure to date for contracted suppliers under the same is Kenya shillings 63 million, leaving a balance of 876 million to be used to procure sanitary towels for this financial year. The balance is awaiting transfer to the State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action during appropriations for the year 2023-2024 supplementary estimate number 1. See attached copy of Treasury letter to the PS Department for Gender. Through the Presidential Directive communicated via letter reference OP SCAB 13 dated 19th June 2023 by the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, the functions of the sanitary towels programs was transferred to the State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action. Honorable Speaker, the distribution by the ministry. At the primary school level, the program targets girls in classes 6, 7, and 8, the age at which menstruation is most likely to commence for majority of girls. Distribution of sanitary towels is done at sub-county level, where primary schools converge at the sub-county education offices to collect the sanitary towels. The targeted girls are issued 7 packets each per year, corresponding to 7 months, leaving 5 months of the year and provided for, which leads to girls missing schools 3 to 4 days within that period.
What's your point of order, Honorable Doya?
Madam Speaker, he's saying that students converge at the county level to collect the sanitary pads. That is a lie. He's saying that they are given 7 packets per year. How many months do we have in a year?
Okay, Honorable
What
Doya.
informed that decision, Madam Speaker?
Okay, Honorable Doya, I get your point of order, but let him finish the statement. When he finishes the statement, I'll give you the first opportunity to respond to his statement. So just take notes. Is that in order, Honorable Doya? Yes, yes. Let him finish so that you can respond to him comprehensively. You may proceed, Leader of Majority.
Honorable Speaker, I want to say, thank you, but I want also to say that it is very unparliamentary.
Honorable Member for the, hold on. Honorable Owen Bayer, just continue with your statement. You're making your statement, you're not giving an opportunity to respond.
All right.
I've already told her that you should have, everyone will have a comprehensive response to your statement. Stick to your statement, because that's the duty you've been given by
Thank you very much,
substantive leader. Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, I take cognizance of the fact that the Honorable Member is new in this Parliament, and she doesn't know that you cannot say in this House someone is lying. It is unparliamentary. You say it's far away from the truth.
It's unparliamentary for you to respond to an individual member without seeking the permission of the Speaker. So you're also out of order. Proceed with your statement.
Since the transfer of the mandate for the sanitary towers program, the State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action has put the following strategies in place to procure and distribute sanitary towels to the girls. 1, the Ministry of Education has officially handed over the management of the program to the State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action. 2, the Ministry of Education has provided data for all the girls in class 5 to 8 in all public primary and secondary schools, junior secondary schools. 3, the State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action has established a secretariat to analyze the data and procure the sanitary towels. 4, the State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action has officially requested the National Treasury to formally transfer the funds to the State Department to initiate the procurement process. 5, the Ministry of Gender, Culture, Arts and Heritage requests the National Assembly to authorize the National Treasury to immediately transfer the funds to the State Department for Gender, subject to regularization during the financial year 2023-2024 as supplementary estimate number 1. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, the State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action will procure the sanitary towels immediately the funds are transferred to the State Department. Honorable Speaker, that's the statement information that we have received from the Ministry for Gender, Culture and Arts and Heritage, and also from the Ministry of Education. That's the end of the statement, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Owen Baya, sitting in for the Leader of Majority. On the order paper, what was indicated is that you are going to give a statement on the state of preparedness and response to the impending El Nino rains by the national government. But I indulged you because I know the issue of sanitary towels is a very emotive issue and has been raised severally by members here. That's why I let you proceed with it, even though it was not on the order paper. So kindly present the copy to the desk. And do you have anything on El Nino?
Honorable Speaker, the statement on El Nino will request that your indulgence on it, that we be able to present it on the next Thursday, if you will allow us to do that.
All right, Honorable Ndoye, as promised, I will give you the first opportunity to comment on his statement. You can press the intervention button. I don't see you. Proceed, Honorable Ndoye. Give her the mic.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I've listened to the response, and what he's saying is not what is on the ground. There are two different things. They are saying that the girls are collecting the sanitary pads from the county level. I come from Kisii County. I have never, at any point, Madam Speaker, I go to the county like twice a month. At least I could even have photos. Of late, we are online. He should give clear clarification of what he has said. Madam Speaker, I've sat in this parliament and I've been told 2 lies. You said that is not a parliamentary language. I don't know which one to use. 3rd of May, the Minister for Education came and said, our school-going boys and girls don't fetch water from the river. I have photos of MSA Primary School of boys and girls going to fetch water from the river. I have photos. No, I want to signal out the lies. Kenyanya Technical Institute, a whole polytechnic, all boys and girls, or men and women, going to fetch water from the river. No. Can you respect women? I'm on the floor and I want to defend the rights of our girls, please. When you go and fetch water from the river on Rebosoro, 20 liters, you are on your period. What will that help you when we still don't have water in our schools? We need water, electricity, and good roads, period. Adding sanitary pads for our girls. You are saying 7 packets. That is a cycle of 12 months. What informed the ministry of giving 7? What will 7 help? In fact, they should be given 24. We are eating well. We need 2 packets per month. And you are telling, they are giving half, Madam Speaker. In that sachet, we have 7 pieces. And you are going for 5 days. What will 7 packets help? And you are comfortable telling us that you've solved the issue of our girls. Everything that you have said, this is the second point that has not been authenticated properly before the floor of this house. You are taking honorable members as masqueraders. I don't know, that information is not authentic, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The honorable member for Kajiado. Proceed, honorable member for Kajiado.
Thank you.
You cannot respond to your own
Madam,
response.
Madam Speaker,
You can't respond to your own statements. Proceed, honorable member from Kajiado.
Madam Speaker, I am a member of Narok County. Madam Speaker, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk about the statement that has been given by our Deputy Majority Leader. Madam Speaker, this is not factual. And the issue of sanitary towels have been an issue that we've been talking about forever. And Madam Speaker, we are tired of this fact that people keep on telling us it is the Ministry of Education, it's the Ministry of Gender, and I'm wondering, Madam Speaker, what does the Ministry of Gender and Ministry of Education have to do with sanitary towels? When you tell us that these towels are to be procured by the Ministry of Gender, and you're waiting for the Ministry of Treasury to do the procurement, Madam Speaker, do periods wait for the procurement to be done? This is something that is done every month, and for us women, we know this. Madam Speaker, it's a basic need, which should have been done like yesterday. So why do we keep on waiting for procurements that are not coming? Madam Speaker, the last time we visited His Excellency the President, we requested that these sanitary towels be given to the women representatives who know what the girl goes through. So when we are told today that the girls pick these sanitary towels in the county headquarters, you all know as women representatives and even members of parliament that these sanitary towels are not picked there, and they are not there. Therefore, we want to say, Madam Speaker, that this is a total lie. It is being said it's not parliamentary, but that is the fact, and it is a true fact. So can we be given the sanitary towels as women representatives so that our girls can get their rightful thing? Madam Speaker, when you talk of 7 packets, you have all gone through this, Madam Speaker.
So
all of us have gone through the circle. We know that you cannot use 7 pads in a month or in a year. What happens in 5 months? What will these women or these girls do? Madam Speaker, this is not fair, and it's unfair to the women.
Honorable member for Nakuru County. Honorable member for Nakuru County, give her the... Honorable members, we just make it brief so that everyone has a chance to speak on this. And Honorable Osoro, you are no authority on this topic, so you will not speak. Honorable member for Nakuru County.
Asante sana Madam Speaker kunipatia nafasi hii niongee kuhusu mambo ambayo inahusu kina mama na inahusu pamoja na wasichana wao. Mambo ya sodo, Madam Speaker, imekuwa shida sana katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Niliposikia taarifa ambaye imesomwa na mheshimiwa ambaye alisimama kutupatia hiyo taarifa, nimeshangaa sana. Paketi 7 sodo ni sanitary towels kwa lugha ya Kiswahili. Amesoma na akasema serikali imeweza kupatia mpaka wa sasa wanasema paketi 7 itasaidia nini?
Hold on, member for Nakuru.
Yes.
I think honorable member, you're out of order, and that's a disparaging remark. I'll hold you out of order.
Asante sana, Madam Speaker.
Yourself. Yes, you know what you just said. I heard you. That's a disparaging remark. It's condescending of women, and I will not allow you to say that when I'm on the Speaker's chair. Proceed, member for Nakuru.
Madam Speaker, asante sana. Na ni vizuri sana taarifa hivi imekuja tukiwa na wanafunzi na walimu ya mashule mbalimbali katika hii bunge la taifa. Madam Speaker, ilitangazwa vizuri sana na ikasemekana mambo ya sodo, mambo ya sanitary towels iwekwe katika ofisi ya mama county, wa mama county ama women reps wanajua sana mambo ya kina mama na mambo ya wasichana. Lakini kwa bahati mbaya hatujui mahali imepelekwa, na mambo ambaye taarifa ambaye imesomwa katika hii bunge ni uongo mtupu. Hata ninamhurumia mheshimiwa mwenye alisoma, sababu ni kama hajui tunakuanga wanawake na wasichana wanapata hayo mambo yao miezi mingapi kwa mwaka. Kwa hivyo ni mambo ambaye yeye mwenyewe hajui, na hiyo mambo Madam Speaker ambaye imetangazwa hapa ni uongo mtupu. Hakuna sanitary towels, hakuna sodo zimepeanwa kwa mashule for the last imechukua mwaka moja kabla hawajapata. Wako hapa na wanatusikia, wako hapa na walimu. Ni aibu sana. Kuna shida ya sodo katika nchi yetu ya Kenya, Madam Speaker, na lazima iangaliwe na wizara husika. Mimi nimechaguliwa kutoka Nakuru, ni Liza Chelule, ninawakilisha wengi ya kina mama na wengi ya wasichana. Kwa hivyo wako na shida na wako na tabu, na wengi sana hawajakuwa wakienda shule sababu wamekosa sodo. Asante sana Madam Speaker kunipatia hiyo nafasi niseme kidogo. Climate change ndio imeleta shida. Unaweza pata msichana anapata mambo heavy. Anaweza pata heavy mara 3 sababu ya climate change kwa mwezi. Hiyo unaweza sema ati ni paketi 6 ama 7 ama ngapi? Madam Speaker.
Asante. Honorable Member for Nairobi County, Esther Passaris.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to contribute to this statement that was read by the Deputy Majority Leader. Madam Speaker, the last time that we had a really transparent and effective but also dysfunctional distribution of sanitary towels was in 2018. I was elected into office in 2017. In 2018, it was under the Ministry of Gender. They had procured the sanitary towels, promised to give us money for distribution, which we never ever received, and we held a function. And that was when we realized that there's a big disparity in how the government is handling this noble cause of providing sanitary towels to our girls. The first thing is they only provide sanitary towels to children between the classes of 5 and 8 in public schools, ignorant of the fact that we have girls who go to school in mission schools and in community-based schools. All these girls require sanitary towels. During the tenure of the late Magoha, I remember we calling him into Parliament to answer a question as to what has happened with the sanitary towels, considering that the girl child was not at school, she was at home because of the pandemic. He mentioned that all the girls received sanitary towels for the entire year in the first 2 months of 2020. A fact check around Nairobi, most of the schools had not received the sanitary towels. If we have said we are providing sanitary towels as a government, we have to make sure that we provide for all the children, community-based, mission schools, faith-based, and public schools. This whole idea that we don't have the statistics is not correct. The government knows how many students there are in all these schools. The second thing is we also say that we cannot provide sanitary towels for girls who go to Form 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are the same destitute children that come from primary, go to secondary, and when they transition into secondary, we are not providing for them. This country has had a lot of money lost to corruption. If we actually decide to focus, sanitary towels is not the area for us to cut budgets. This is where we need a transparent allocation of budgets, enough to cater for every child, because our constitution does not allow us to discriminate against any child in Kenya. Now, when we went to see the president, in his wisdom, when he was surrounded by 47 women reps, it is the president himself who came up with the idea of talking to us about teenage pregnancies, knowing that teenage pregnancies are somehow tied to sanitary towels and the lack of sanitary towels. He said he wanted each and every woman rep empowered. He wanted us to find localized solutions so that we can even create manufacturing, whether it is the reusable or whatever, every woman rep, because he understood that when a woman is looking for sanitary towels for her child, she's not going to look for her male MP. She's going to look for the Mama County. And so he said that Mama County should be given the task of distributing and sourcing the sanitary towels. One of the biggest dangers that we've had with sanitary towels, moving it from gender to education back to gender, is the fact that even when they go to procure in that big bulky million order, what is going to happen is that they're going to end up with procurement challenges. Once they go into procurement challenges, we will see our girl child again denied sanitary towels. So I would like us to go to the drawing board. I would like the women reps and the women leaders to be put together so that we can make good decisions when it comes to sanitary towels. The girls cannot wait any longer. We are already halfway through almost finishing the school academic year, and the girls have not received sanitary towels. On the issue of water, I want to appeal to all the men and all the single constituency MPs to please make sure that you provide adequate waters, because you have the mandate under CDF to ensure that the schools have enough toilets for the girl child. The school also has water, because without water, without disposable mechanisms, without adequate number of toilets for the girl child, we're also not actually enabling the girl to have a dignified way of dealing with menstruation. Thank you very much, and I really hope that we will all together come together to make sure that the girl child is provided with sanitary towels, not just in public schools, community-based, faith-based, and also the street families. As a country, we need to make sure that we forge ahead. We are celebrated for having come up with 0 rating on sanitary towels, providing it to our schools, and it's such a shame that from 2018 up to now, we don't have a transparent mechanism for which women reps can see clearly that there was distribution of sanitary towels.
Honorable Member for Taita Taveta, Haiza Mzigi. I've seen you member for Turkana County, and I've seen you the chairperson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Let's make it brief so that other people can have an opportunity, because we are getting to a close.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for also giving me an opportunity.
In this topic. Yes.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for also giving me an opportunity to add my voice on this very heated topic of sanitary towel. But before I begin, which I'm planning to comment about, I want to take this opportunity to welcome the honorable members of the County of Taita Taveta to Parliament with the secretariats as well. I want to tell you that welcome to Parliament. We know very well you are here on a mission, and congratulations for that mission. And as your members of Parliament, we are going to support you. So, karibuni sana. Madam Speaker, on the issue of the sanitary towels, as we speak right now, I have teachers from Taita Taveta calling me, requesting for sanitary towels to keep our school girls in school, especially this moment when they are doing exams. Madam Speaker, this shows clearly that the sanitary towels did not get to school. And if they got there, then there were very few. Madam Speaker, we are tired of this topic. I want to appreciate the report, but we want to say that this report is not pleasing. This report is not pleasing at all, because we want these sanitary towels, as we had discussed with the president. He was very clear that the women reps are the ones who are going to distribute the sanitary towel. But right now, what we are hearing from the report is matters procurement, procurement, and procurement. They have said nothing about distribution of these sanitary towels. We want these sanitary towels, and we want them now. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Member for Laikipia.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to contribute to this very important topic. Honorable Speaker, listening to the statement that has been read, I am lost on why we spend 630 billion on education, yet we can't ensure our girls remain in schools. When we listen to a statement speaking of procurement, it also sends me back to wondering if the person speaking of procurement knows that menstrual cycle happens every other month. As they speak of procurement, our girls in school still need sanitary towels. Honorable Speaker, it's also good to remind them, when you speak about 7 packets of sanitary towels per year for a student, I don't know if you are considering the health of these students. Do you want one girl using 1 sanitary towel a whole day? Or what is the plan on that? We need to ensure the menstrual health of our girls is maintained. Honorable Speaker, we also need to ensure their personal comfort, because we don't want a girl wandering the whole day. If she has messed herself, they need to be given sufficient amount of sanitary towels. Equally, Madam Speaker, these girls will become mothers in future. If we don't give them enough sanitary towels, we are going to also affect their reproductive health. So, Honorable Speaker, we urge the government to act very quickly in ensuring our girls have sanitary towels. And if it is difficult for the distribution from the ministry to happen, the women representatives are here. We are ready to go around our counties, deliver sanitary towels for our students. And above all, Honorable Speaker, it has become difficult for women reps to keep requesting for donations which are not sustainable to ensure our girls remain in school. Honorable Speaker, time is now for our girls to get sanitary towels, and we are demanding, not requesting.
The Honorable Member for Marsabit County, Honorable Naomi Wako. I've seen you, Irene.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for allowing me to add my voice to this very important discussion that is going on. And Madam Speaker, yes, the statement, the response is good, but we are not satisfied. It is not convincing, simply because we know as women, and even the men, know the challenges that the young girls go through in school. Madam Speaker, there are parents who can afford to buy sanitary towels for their children and their girls. But there are those parents who have even nowhere, who have even no idea of what their daughters need to have in schools. And that is why we are saying we are looking for equality. We want this to go to every part of this country, and we want our daughters to be given enough sanitary towels. Madam Speaker, if a girl misses 5 days every month, you can imagine the number of days that she misses in school and in the whole year. And Madam Speaker, many other times people have said that our girls keep missing classes just because they don't want to be embarrassed. And you know how in primary school, girls are intimidated in different ways. And that is why we want to bring to an end the intimidation of girls, the shaming of our daughters, and we want them to feel free and even perform academically. When we do this as a government, we are already enhancing the academic performance of our daughters in school. By denying them this, that is automatically going to interfere with their academic performance. Madam Speaker, as a government, we are here, Kenya Kwanza government is here to transform, is here to touch lives, and when we are talking of bottom up, this is what we should consider first. And let us have enough sanitary towels for our daughters. Let us also empower the women reps so that from our offices, we can reach out to every corner of our counties and reach out to our daughters so that we protect them and they will always feel free to participate in every action that they will be needed for. Right now, sometimes our girls are not going to school. Sometimes when they have extracurricular activities out of the school, they don't participate. We want to bring to an end all that embarrassment, and we want our daughters to walk when their heads are up, and we want our daughters to know that we are here to defend their rights. Madam Speaker, I support.
Thank you. I think we go next to Honorable Irene Mayaka. And as you speak, someone just sent me a message and said the 7 packets are because of the 7 months while they're in school. So I wonder if the menstrual cycle actually stops when they are at home.
Thank you,
Honorable Irene Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I just want to, first of all, paint the picture for people like Honorable Osoro, who are wondering whether or not the 7 packs are enough. Honorable Osoro, when a woman or a girl is having their menstrual period, it is the same as opening a tap and water is flowing out. Yes. So you can imagine a girl is in school, they have no pads, and water is flowing out, blood is flowing out like a tap. So 7 pads, first of all, is not enough. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, When the Ministry for Education tells us that they have provided this in schools, and we are saying that this has not been done, it is telling us that the teachers are the ones who are holding these pads. So we really want to know, and Honorable Speaker, I am hoping that you can rule that we should have the CS for education and the CS for gender coming here to Parliament and responding to us directly on what they are telling us. Because it is inaccurate, it is unfair to our girls. We are having situations where even border riders are convincing girls that if they carry them, if they touch them, they will buy for them pads. So this situation is very unfortunate. And Honorable Speaker, the members of women reps who are here, who were in the previous parliament, have said that they were able to produce, they were able to supply these pads in a very systematic manner and efficiently. And Honorable Speaker, I just want to urge, I don't understand why it is so hard to get this back to the women representatives so that they can distribute this, and so that even for those who are future aspiring women representatives can be able to also ensure that our girls have this. And so therefore, Honorable Speaker, I just want to urge you again that we should have the two CSs here so that they can answer us directly and tell us what is going on. Because this is unpleasant, it is unhygienic to the girls, it is unfair, and it is inhuman. I submit.
Honorable Irene Maraka, remember you have the right to be able to send a question through the Speaker's office, and the CSS will come here. Honorable Member for Kabuchai.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think the statement is clearly unsatisfactory. Reason why I say this, Madam Speaker, you cannot bring the procedures of procurement when you know you cannot procure the periods. Madam Speaker, we must be clearly told that we have methods of procurement that are direct procurement. Why do we want to use long methods of procurement when we know that this thing is very emergent? Madam Speaker, periods are emergencies. According to what we know, Madam Speaker, people who delay these procedures in terms of procurement, and they are men, I wish God made them to start flowing. They will know why, Madam Speaker. It is that problem. Madam Speaker, again, even the ministry, Madam Speaker, is supposed even to provide some drugs. Some girls have complications when they are in this period. They have stomach crumbles, some of them, a very painful stomach crumbles. You must go to the level of even providing drugs called Pascopan and toxic for these girls. Madam Speaker, we must be careful, and these are our girls. We must protect them. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Member for Turkana County. Honorable Osoro, I know very well you're up to some mischief, so I'll exercise my discretion and pay no attention to you. Proceed, member for Turkana County. This is the only opportunity that the people who are concerned with this topic can have an opportunity to talk about it. You have no experience or empirical evidence to present to this House. Honorable Osoro. Proceed, member for Turkana County.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this chance. Madam Speaker, we have always said this House is a house of facts, and we should make it our way of life or the normal way of doing things. It is so hurting and offending to just listen to a report, Madam Speaker, that is not factual, that is misplacing facts. When you say all counties received these pads, and you can hear members from urban counties, Madam Speaker, complaining that they have not seen it. So you can imagine of far-hand counties like Turkana and the northern region, Madam Speaker. 7 pieces of pads. Yes, Madam Speaker, you've told us it reflects the 7 months these girls are in school, Madam Speaker. But we know the bureaucracy in the procurement process of the government ministries. We know these months, when these girls are in school, they are not getting the pads every month, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, 7 pads even for those months when schools are on is still a joke. And we know the quality of pads that government usually procures, Madam Speaker. It is that kind of, the flora, those undignified kind of sanitary towels that do not hold periods even for some hours, Madam Speaker. So we are very far as a country from giving our girls dignity, Madam Speaker. And in counties like Turkana, Madam Speaker, and I know most of the northern region and marginalized counties, Madam Speaker, we are still very far. We need to give dignity to these girls. I'm looking forward into a moment where we will have a dignity kit, Madam Speaker, a kit that will contain a sanitary packet, a kit that will contain a pant, and these other things that come with hygiene that comes with period, Madam Speaker. Because in some regions, girls do not even have pants, Madam Speaker. So you can give a girl a sanitary towel, she doesn't have a pant. It happens in some of these counties, Madam Speaker. So let us think of how we can do a dignity kit for our girl, Madam Speaker. Then the other thing I wanted to say, Madam Speaker, is it is so unfortunate in today's society, our girls still fall prey to malpractices or inhuman practices like selling their bodies, sexual favors for pads, Madam Speaker. I think that is the lowest indignity for any human being on this earth, Madam Speaker. And I've always said, just the way condoms are in every dispenser of toilets, Madam Speaker, we want our sanitary towels in all the dispensers, in bars, in hotels, everywhere. We want our sanitary towels everywhere, Madam Speaker, just the way condoms are all over. And our sanitary towels are cheaper, Madam Speaker, as compared to some of these condoms. So I think this should be the last time we are talking about pads, Madam Speaker. And I want to support my colleagues. The issue of sanitary towels should be given to women reps, Madam Speaker, and the female MPs, because it is the wearer of the shoe who knows where it pinches. We want to be the ones giving our girls sanitary towels, because we even know the best quality to buy them, not the ones that don't even have the glue to stick onto their pant, Madam Speaker.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Turkana. You have said this is the last time we should be talking about it. We've given enough room for ventilating on this point, so we'll just close by me giving the member for Mwatate constituency.
Asante, Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Okay, sorry, we'll let him finish. I'll let you close. Member for Busia. Yes, because I'd seen you actually earlier. Proceed.
Asante, Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Lakini keep it brief, eh?
Sawa, nitakuwa mfupi wa maneno, Madam Speaker. Kwanza ni kuseme kwamba umesema mbunge wa Mwatate, huyu ni mbunge wa Undani. Mheshimiwa Speaker, kabla niunge mkono yanayojiri hapa bunge, niseme kwanza nataka kuwashukuru na kuwapongeza wajumbe wa County Assembly ya Taita Taveta ambao wamekuja ndani ya bunge letu la kitaifa. Mheshimiwa Speaker, tuko na kamati ya wanyamapori na ardhi ya kaunti ya Taita Taveta wakiongozwa na Mheshimiwa Joseph Kennedy ambaye alimaarufu Anko, akiwemo Mheshimiwa Rose Shingira na Mheshimiwa Nancy Mwakio, wakiambatana na wafanyikazi wa bunge la kaunti ya Taita Taveta. Nataka nichukue nafasi hii kuwakaribisha katika bunge la kitaifa na niseme kwamba ile barua aliyoleta katika bunge la kitaifa ni ya muhimu sana ya masuala ya wanyamapori na vile inasumbua kule Taita Taveta. Mheshimiwa Speaker, swala hili la sodo ambalo limegonga vichwa vya habari mchana wa leo, mimi nina mambo matatu peke yake nataka kusema kwayo. La kwanza, Mheshimiwa Speaker, serikali kuu ipeane kugawa hizi sodo kwa kina mama wetu wa county, women reps. Hii agenda ya kwamba serikali kuu inataka kufanya kupitia wizara, lazima tukatae kama bunge la kitaifa. Kina mama hawa, women reps hawa, wapewe 100% nafasi hiyo ya kupeleka hizi sodo kwa shule zetu za upili na za primary. Pili, Mheshimiwa Speaker, ni uongo sana kwamba wamekuwa wakipeana hizi sodo. Kule kwetu Taita Taveta, juzi nimekuwa shule ya wasichana inaitwa Mwangeka, na mimi niliuliza kama wanapata sodo zile. Hawajawahi pata kwa miaka mitatu. Kwa hivyo ni urongo, hazijafikia wa shule zetu, na lazima zipatiwe mama zetu hawa waweze kupeleka sodo hizo. Mwisho, Mheshimiwa Spika, vile vile katika kila zahanati ukienda utapata mipira ya kondomu, na ukienda kila mahali kwa mahoteli utapata mipira hiyo inapewa bure. Tunaomba kwamba lazima tupitishe mswada ndani ya bunge hili, sodo hizi zipewanwe bila malipo. Katika kila mahali kuna public facility, sodo ziwe na zipewe bila malipo. Wasichana wetu wanataabika sana. Asante Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Asante, member for Busia County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Very quickly, I want the ESCC involved in investigating the Ministry of Education. We want to know, since 2019, who did the procurement, what quantity. We want to know they supplied to who, because I come from Busia County and every school has approached me asking for these sanitary towels. We want also to know, why do they give for 7 months? If they say 7 months, it only they don't care about the other months. If you think of giving somebody a sanitary towel, it means they cannot afford. So it means that these other months, they don't care whether these kids use rags, whether they get infections, they don't care. They only care when these kids are seated there. But what I am sure of, every school in this country, Kenya, these people from the Ministry of Education, I do not think they even have a data of who they have supplied to. And if they have, we want them here. And we want the ESCC to investigate them and give us a report. Every public toilet, if you go, and every hospital, you will find condoms for free. You can go and pick. Why are they not keen to distribute these sanitary towels to every day school, public school in every county, just the way they do condoms? Because when we talk of infections, these infections come because of dampness and because these children don't afford these classy kind of pads. So the Ministry of Education has failed us because the women reps are supposed to be distributing. The whole of this year, I'm 1 year old in this parliament, but I've never been asked by the Ministry of Education to help supply the pads. So who is supplying? We cannot be saying that we are supplying as a government, but you are just supplying air, what you call hot air. We want the pads now, not tomorrow, I heard that they've said from January they will start supplying. Does it mean every woman in Kenya stops menstruating until January? We want the pads today, or we are headed in that office if you don't help. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. I think we ventilated sufficiently. Let us move to the next statement, and kindly do not respond to your earlier statement or what has been said about it. Majority Leader, you have your statement, understanding order 44.
Honorable Speaker, I wish to present the usual Thursday statement. And now that we are starting to do this, I would request the Honorable Whip
Osoro,
to sit.
Kindly sit down.
And
You're
now
disorderly.
we start to discuss.
You may proceed, Honorable Member.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2a, I rise to give the following statement on behalf of the House Business Committee, which met on Tuesday, 17th October 2023, to prioritize the business for consideration during the week. Honorable Speaker, protects me from the Honorable Jerusha and Professor and Honorable Jerusha.
Honorable Jerusha and Honorable Osoro, you can take it outside.
Yeah, they can take it.
You can take it outside, actually.
They can do take
proceed.
this discussion to Kisii, not here. Honorable Speaker, members will recall that the House held a morning sitting on Tuesday, 17th October, that was intended to provide time for consideration of priority legislative business. This included the health sector bills that are intended to overhaul the operation in the sector as part of the government's universal health care plans. I take this opportunity to thank members for their commitment during the consideration of the bills in all stages. Special mention to the Departmental Committee on Health for their timely consideration of the bills, and indeed, Honorable Pokosa and your team, we want to thank you. Indeed, upon assent and implementation, the legislation will ensure access to the highest standards of health services by all Kenyans. Honorable members, the President today afternoon actually assented to these bills, and now we have a new dawn in healthcare provision. Honorable Speaker, during the week, the House adopted a motion extending the mandate of the National Dialogue Committee by a further 30 days from 20th October 2023. Consequently, the committee is expected to conclude the proceedings and report to the leadership of the Kenya Kwanza and Azimio coalitions and to Parliament on or before 26th November 2023. Honorable Speaker, with regards to business scheduled for Tuesday next week, the House is expected to consider the following bills at various stages, some of which are listed in today's order paper. Committee of the Whole House on the Statutory Instruments Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2023, and second reading of the Conflict of Interest Bill 2023. Consideration of the reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements for the National Government Constituencies Development Fund for 12 constituencies in Kakamega County. Report on 1970 UNESCO Convention on the means of prohibiting and preventing the illicit import, export, and transfer of ownership of cultural properties. Sessional paper number 1 of 2023 on Kenya National Population Policy for Sustainable Development. Next is the report of the Kenya delegation to the 4th General Assembly of the East African Parliamentary Alliance on Food Security and Nutrition held in Kigali, Rwanda. The next is report on the inspection of various one-stop border posts in the Northern Corridor in the East African Community region. Report on the loans contracted by the national government between May 2022 and April 2023. It's a very important report, Honorable Speaker. Reports of the Auditor General on 23 non-compliant state corporations. Report on the proceedings of the second ordinary session of the 6th Pan-African Parliament, PAP, and report on the proceedings of the 2023 United Nations High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development. Chairpersons of committee and individual members with scheduled business are reminded to be available to prosecute their matters in the House. In the week past, we've had matters coming into this House, Honorable Speaker, and either the chairperson or the deputies are not in the House. We're asking them to be here to prosecute their matters. This will ensure that the House concludes the numerous committees and individual members' business already listed in the order paper. Honorable Speaker, in accordance with the provisions of Standing Order 42A, 5, and 6, I wish to convey that the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration is scheduled to appear before the House on the afternoon of Wednesday, 25th October 2023, to respond to the following questions. And I want to urge honorable members who have questions listed for that day to be here in person to ensure that these questions are asked. Honorable Speaker, the first question, by private notice number 012-2023, by the member for Mathioya constituency, Honorable Dr. Edwin Mugo, MP, regarding the disappearance of Ms. Esther Ruguru, a resident of Mathioya constituency. Question by private notice number 13 of 2023 by the member for Nakuru Town East constituency, the Honorable David Gikaria, MP, regarding the death of a minor, Yasmin Njoki, at Mbaruk Center in Gilgil constituency. Question by private notice number 14 by the member for Kinango constituency, the Honorable Gonzi Rai, MP, regarding the status of the investigations into the death of Nyae Ngala Chamtu, a minor. Question by private notice number 15, 2023, by the member for Nyakach constituency, Honorable Aduma Owor, MP, regarding the insecurity situation in Sondu within Nyakach constituency. Question by private notice number 16 of 2023 by the member for Lamu County, Honorable Monica Mudhoni Marubu, MP, regarding the frequent attacks in Widho, Salama, Juhudi, Ziwalata, Bobo, and Roka within Lamu County. Question by private notice number 17 of 2023 by the member for Mwingi Central, the Honorable Gideon Mulyungi, MP, regarding the apprehension of suspected armed bandits terrorizing the residents of Ukasi and Waita area within Mwingi West constituency. Question number 143 of 2023 by the member for Kandui constituency, the Honorable John Makali, MP, regarding the accessibility of registration services within Bungoma County. Question number 197 of 2023 by the member for Mombasa County, the Honorable Zamzam Mohammed, MP, regarding the dismantling of juvenile criminal gangs operating within Kisauni, Likoni, and Old Town in Mombasa County. Question number 198 of 2023 by the member for Mwingi North constituency, the Honorable Paul Nzengu, MP, regarding the status of investigations into the death of Mr. Muo Mudhengi. Question number 201 of 2023 by the member for Kitutu Masaba constituency, the Honorable Giseiro Olive Clive Ombane, MP, regarding the status of investigations into the gruesome murder of Mr. Edward Morema Nyangechi and Mama Grace Morema. Question number 203, 2023, by the member for Ndiwa constituency, the Honorable Martin Peters Owino, MP, regarding the subdivision of the constituency into 3 operational and adequately staffed administrative sub-counties and corresponding divisions. Question number 264 of 2023 by the member for Kinangop constituency, Honorable Kwenya Thuku, MP, regarding the status of investigations into the death of a watchman in various schools by gangs in Kinangop constituency. Question number 265, 2023, by the member for Kitutu Chache South, the Honorable Anthony Kibagendi, MP, MP, regarding the measures by the ministry to address the widespread abuse of drugs and banned substances in the country. Question number 266, 2023, by the member for Endebess constituency, the Honorable Dr. Robert Pukose, MP, regarding the status of the investigations into the death of PC Emmanuel Kiprop from Endebess constituency, who was killed by a mob in Kathanje Market of Tharaka Nithi County. Question number 270, 2023, by the member for West Pokot County, the Honorable Rael Kasiwai, MP, regarding the efforts of the ministry to address the conflicts on boundaries within West Pokot County. Question number 344, 2023, by the member for Wajir West constituency, the Honorable Yusuf Mohammed, MP, regarding the status of investigations into the death of 2 minors, namely Abdisalan Hussein Isaac and Munazil Ado, on 4th May and 4th June 2023. Question number 345, 2023, by the member for Kisumu West constituency, the Honorable Rosa Buyu, MP, regarding the status of the investigations into the death of a minor by the name Marion Atieno on 3rd June 2023. Question number 389 of 2023, by the member for Gilgil constituency, the Honorable Martha Wangari, MP, regarding the changes made to the National Police Service Medical Insurance Scheme. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, question number 454, 2023, by the member for Lamu East constituency, the Honorable Captain Roida Obo, regarding the apprehension of Al-Shabaab militants in Lamu County. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, the House Business Committee will reconvene on Tuesday, 24th October 2023 to schedule business for the rest of the week. On behalf of the House Business Committee, I take this opportunity to wish members a happy Mashujaa Day. I now wish to lay the statement on the table of the House. And Honorable Speaker, allow me to thank the women of this House for standing with the young girls in school about pads and sodo. It is disheartening to find that our girls actually suffer the inhumanity of staying without sanitary pads. But I want to urge the women in this house and those without this house to stand with the women and the girls continuously. I'm a father of girls, and I know what it is like to be in that situation and you do not have pads. And I wouldn't wish any other person's girl to be in a situation where, as MP, I can afford it for my daughter, but another person cannot afford it for your daughter. It is disheartening, and I want to ask the ministries involved to ensure that, as promised by the President, the sanitary towels are provided for the full 12 months that a girl needs them. That way, we will liberate our children and ensure that there's equal opportunity in education for both girls and boys. I submit, Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Owen Baya, for that magnanimous response. And now, allow me, before we proceed to the next order, to recognize schools that are seated in the Speaker's Gallery. Kongoni Primary School, Langata constituency, Nairobi County. And Mawingu Secondary School, Kipipiri constituency, Nyandarua County. Seated in the public gallery, I wish to recognize the presence of the following students. Students from University of Embu, Manyata constituency, Embu County. I can see the member for Manyata constituency very excited. Also, Timbarua Secondary School, Eldama Ravine constituency, Baringo County. And lastly, Kenyatta University, Roysambu constituency, Nairobi County. I will allow the member for Manyata to welcome the guests for a minute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I wish to, on behalf of all members, welcome our visitors on this floor, and specifically Chama cha Kiswahili Chuo Kikuu cha Embu Club, acronym Chakie Club. Honorable Speaker, I know many members are not aware of the University of Embu, but interestingly, it has been ranked twice in a row as one of the best run parastatal in this country, Honorable Speaker. Also, Honorable Speaker, it has been in papers in many times, Honorable Speaker, in their research on agriculture. And their research has been published in various journals all over this world, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, when I see our young people coming to see what we are doing here, I get encouraged, especially as the chair of Kenya Young Parliamentarians, that we are having future generations who are seeing what you're doing, admiring what you're doing, and also wanting to actually be part and parcel of what is going in this house. Honorable Speaker, I also want to welcome Kenyatta University students on behalf of KU alumni, led by our very good friend Kimani Kuria, who was a member there, Honorable Mheshimiwa Karemba, Ndindi Nyoro, KJ, and our deputy majority leader, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also want to take this opportunity to wish all members happy Mashujaa Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next order.
But order number 8, the Insurance Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 18 of 2023, second reading, question to be put.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the Insurance Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 18 of 2023 be read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Insurance Act. Order number 9, motion, reports of the Auditor General on the financial statement for the National Government Constituencies Development Fund for the 12 constituencies in Kakamega County.
Mover.
Thank you, Madam
Proceed,
Speaker.
Honorable Munjungi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I beg to move the following motion, that this House adopts the first report of the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee on audited financial statements for the National Government Constituency Development Fund for 12 constituencies in Kakamega County for the financial years 2013-2014, 2014-2015, and 2015-2016, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 27th of July, 2023. Honorable Speaker, oversight over national revenue and expenditure is amongst the roles of National Assembly as stipulated under Article 95(4)(c) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Further, Article 226 of the Constitution provides that an Act of Parliament shall provide for the designation of an accounting officer in every public entity at the national level who is accountable to the National Assembly for its financial management. In addition, Article 229(8) mandates this House to debate and take appropriate action on audit reports from the Auditor General. Madam Speaker, in fulfillment of these constitutional provisions, the National Assembly Standing Order number 205B establishes the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee, whose mandate is to examine the reports of the Auditor General for the National Government Constituency Development Fund, the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, and the respective governing boards. The committee, which was established in the 13th Parliament, received a backlog of audited reports dating back from the financial year 2013-14 from 228 constituencies. It is important to note that the previous committee, Special Funds Accounts Committee, had examined audited reports from the 62 constituencies in Kisumu, Kiambu, and all the coastal region counties during the 12th Parliament. Given that each constituency is audited independently, the committee adopted a strategy of examining reports from constituencies in each county for 3 financial years concurrently. Honorable Speaker, the committee held 11 sittings and received written evidences from the CEO of the National Government Constituency Development Fund Board, being the accounting officer of the NGCDF, as provided under Section 67(1) of PMF Act 2012. The committee also engaged the fund account managers, both present and former, from the 12 constituencies, namely Lungari, Butere, Likuyani, Malava, Kwiwesero, Lurambi, Navakolo, Shinyalu, Mumias West, Matungu, Mumias East, and Ikolomani, to clarify various issues raised by the Auditor General during their tenure in office, given the critical role they play as AIE auditors, as stipulated under Section 12(4) of the NGCDF Act 2015. The oral and written submissions received formed the basis of observations, findings, and recommendations of the committee as outlined in the report under each audit queries. These are also contained in the minutes and other reports of the committee proceedings. The committee also undertook inspection visits to various NGCDF projects in some selected constituencies to verify information submitted by both the accounting officer and the fund account managers on the completeness of multiple projects and their benefits to the constituents. Honorable Speaker, during the 11 sittings the committee held to receive written evidence from the CEO of the NGCDF board, the fund and the fund account managers, both present and former, from the 12 constituencies, namely Lugari, Mbutere, Likuyani, Malava, Quisero, Lurambi, Navakolo, Shinyalu, Mumias West, Matungu, Mumias East, Kolomale. The committee observed the following cross-cutting issues. Number one, there were instances of non-presentation of issued bursary checks to institutions and delays in presentation of acknowledgement documents upon receipt of the bursaries. Number two, some fund account managers implemented projects and reallocated funds without seeking prior approval from the NGCDA board. Number three, pending ongoing projects were dominant due to inadequate allocation and the late disbursement of funds by the National Treasury. Number five, there was poor coordination between the Office of the Auditor General and the fund account managers, particularly regarding the timely response to audit queries. Number six, some fund account managers did not avail documents that were subject to examination by the Auditor General for verification at the time of audit. 7, fund account managers experienced challenges in adopting to the International Public Sector Accounting Standards framework in the preparation of financial statements. The inspection visit, as mentioned earlier, the committee undertook inspection visit to various projects in some selected constituencies, namely Lurambi and Mumias West constituencies, to verify information submitted by both the accounting officer and the fund account managers on the completeness of various projects and their benefits to the constituents. Mumias West constituency, Nungatory dispensary expenditure. As per the audit query, the dispensary was constructed at a cost of 2.7 million and it remained unutilized and was declared inhabitable by the Public Health Office. During the field visit by the committee on the 9th of May 2023, the committee observed that, number one, the building was done to the required standards and was habitable. Number two, the fund account manager handed over the facility to Kakamega County as per the committee's direction and submitted the handover report. The query was adequately addressed and resolved. Lurambi constituency. There was a stalled construction of Lurambi CDF office at Kakamega County. The visit was occasioned by an audit query. Honorable Speaker, when the Lurambi constituency fund account manager appeared before the committee, it was noted that the audit issue was not satisfactorily responded. The committee therefore instructed the fund account manager to provide additional information and the documents to the auditors. The committee undertook a field visit on the 10th of May 2023, and the committee observed that the roof had been fitted on the second floor. However, external walling for the first and second floor had not been done. Number two, the ground floor currently accommodates the Lurambi NGCDF office. Number three, members were satisfied with the works done so far through the stewardship of the current Member of Parliament, who had ensured that the ground floor offices were being utilized. Committee observations. The committee recommended that the Lurambi NGCDF and the board should source for more funds to complete the building to realize value for money. Mr. Speaker, sir, having deliberated on the audited financial statements, the following general observations and recommendations, which cut across the 12 constituencies during the examination of the reports, were made. Number one, bursary fund. Non-presentation of issued bursary checks and a delay in presentation of acknowledgement documents by the beneficiary institutions. The committee observed that some instances of non-presentation of issued bursary checks to institutions and delays in presenting acknowledgement documents upon receipt of the bursaries. Mr. Speaker, you recall there was an alarming report in the news that over 2 billion was lost in bursary allocations. Mr. Speaker, this report was erroneous because the bottom line was there were no acknowledgement documents presented to the CNDF. Mr. Speaker, if an office of CNDF is in Lamu and you write a check to Kisumu, you cannot take the check to Kisumu and wait and go and collect a receipt from Kisumu to come and keep in the office. Therefore, the committee recommended the following: that the NG-CNDF board should develop an overarching bursary policy framework with a mechanism for both manual and electronic funds transfer in the disbursement of bursaries checks and the beneficiary institutions to issue acknowledgement documents upon receipts of the check. In addition, the committee directed the auditors to verify bank statements transactions where receipts are not available. Number 2, reallocation and use of emergency funds. The committee observed that some projects funded using emergency funds did not meet the threshold set out in Section 6.2 and Section 8 of the NG-CNDF Act 2015. The committee recommended that the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Board should ensure that the fund account managers comply with the provisions of Section 6.2 and Section 8 of the National Government Constituency Development Fund Act 2015. Number 3, pending ongoing projects. Committee observed that the critical cause of pending ongoing projects being common in constituencies as they await for further funding for completion was the inadequate allocation of funds for the projects with the hope of completing projects in subsequent financial years. The committee recommended that, number 1, the board should, with immediate effect, discourage the partial allocation of funds to projects and ensure that all projects are completed within 2 financial years. Further, the NG-CNDF committee should ensure proper costing of projects is done in consultation with the relevant government department to ensure realistic cost estimates. Number 2, the NG-CNDF board should come up with a realistic policy framework of costing projects for each constituency by the end of the first quarter of the financial year 2023-24, which is informed by the cost of materials, cost of transportation, taxes, the topography of each constituency, and the reports from the relevant government departments. Number 4, the link between the Office of the Auditor General and the fund account managers. The committee observed that there was poor coordination between the Office of the Auditor General and fund account managers, particularly regarding the timely response to audit queries. The committee further observed that there was need for CNDF board to inform fund account managers across the country to respond to audit queries promptly. Mr. Speaker, when we were examining the reports, we realized that some fund managers were responding to queries of 2013 financial year when we summoned them in 2023. The committee observed further that fund account managers did not avail some documents that were subject of examination by the Auditor General for verification at the time of audit. The documents not availed for audit included cash books, bank statements, payment vouchers, project completion certificates, procurement records, and bills of quantities. Mr. Speaker, you recall, you will note that in the event of misappropriation of funds, of CNDF funds in the constituency by the fund account managers, it is the MP who is put on the spot, and not the fund manager, it is not the CEO, it is not the CNDF committee, it is not the PMC. Therefore, the committee recommended that, number 1, the board to ensure that fund account managers comply with the provisions of Section 621B and the C of the Public Audit Act, number 34 of 2015. Number 2, the CNDF board issues an administrative circular directing fund account managers to comply with the provisions of the Constitution 2010, Public Audit Act number 34 of 2015, Public Finance Management Act number 18 of 2012 and the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act number 33 of 2015. Number 3, the NCCNDA board to ensure that fund account managers maintain the original project management committee's file at the CNDF office, while the duplicate is maintained by the project management committee at the project site to ensure that documents are available to the auditors when they visit the office. Number 4, the CNDA board should ensure constituency committees employ qualified accountants for the constituency offices beginning financial year 2023-24 within the 6% administrative allocation to the CNDFC. This will strengthen the maintenance of books of accounts and preparation of financial statements. Mr. Speaker, the 2015 CNDF Act designates fund account managers as the accounting officers and the CEO board, creating 291 centers of power. Mr. Speaker, this is not appropriate, and that's why many members are experiencing problems with the fund account managers because the CEO has no control, because it was put in the act that the fund manager is the accounting officer for the constituency. Mr. Speaker, I will therefore be moving an amendment to remove the fund account manager as the designated AIE orders by law and move that mandate to the CEO to appoint fund account managers as AIE orders. The law as it is creates 291 accounting officers, which in my view is a lacuna in the law. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I wish to commend the Chief Executive Officer of the board for ensuring that majority of fund managers prepared the responses in time and prepared the committee as scheduled. I also commend the project management committees in the constituencies for engaging the public in project identification, ensuring that priority projects that had the most significant benefits to the communities were implemented. Majority of these projects were on infrastructure development in various public schools and utilities. Honorable Speaker, I wish to express appreciation to your office and the office of the Clerk of the National Assembly for the enormous support you gave to my committee. As I conclude, I also thank the honorable members of the committee who made time to attend and participate in the committee's deliberations during the consideration of the report. Finally, I wish to thank the Parliamentary Liaison Office from the Office of the Auditor General and the Treasury and the Committee Secretariat for facilitating the committee in the production of this report. Your invaluable contribution have greatly enriched this report. Mr. Speaker, I now call upon the Honorable Muthoni Kiara, nominated MP, Meru County, to second the motion, and I urge the House to adopt the report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Who is seconding? Please give honorable member the microphone.
Please.
Yes, there's one around you there.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to second this very important report. Honorable Speaker, I wish to reiterate the words of the chairperson that indeed oversight of a national revenue and expenditure is amongst the laws of the National Assembly and Article 95 of the Constitution. In fulfillment of this law, the committee deliberated on the audited financial statement for the national government Constituency Development Fund for 12 constituencies in Kakamega County. Honorable Speaker, it is important to note that a majority of the observations that we made have been given by the chair. However, Honorable Speaker, it's important to note that the committee observed some very, very crucial issues that are cutting across all the constituencies. One among them is reallocation of use of emergency fund. Honorable Speaker, the committee observed that some of the projects funded using emergency funds did not meet the threshold set out in Section 6.2 and Section 8 of the NGCDF Act 2015. Honorable Speaker, we went further and recommended that the National Government Constituent Fund Board should ensure that the fund account managers comply with these provisions of Section 6.2 of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, the other very emotive issue that we observed and which is still cutting across in a majority of the constituencies is that a majority of the land, most of the land that has been bought in these constituencies, properties, motor vehicles purchased by the board or fund managers did not have ownership documents. Honorable Speaker, it's important to note that land is very emotive, and this report that we are giving today is a report that draws back from the year 2013, 2014, 2014, 2015, and 2015, 2016. And Honorable Speaker, because we are auditing this report at this particular time, this is 2023, we have observed that the land that was bought that time then still does not have the requisite papers to prove that the land belongs to the institutions that the fund managers claim it belongs to. Honorable Speaker, it is important to note that even vehicles that were procured that time then, and some of them are not operational to date, they still could not avail the documents to prove ownership. Honorable Speaker, it is therefore our perceived, in our view, that these documents should be availed so that we can be sure that this money, which is public money, was properly utilized. Honorable Speaker, it is also important for us to note that the committee observed that a majority of the pending ongoing projects, and Honorable Speaker, we were able to visit some of these constituencies, and we physically saw that some projects which are drawn back to those years that we are mentioning are still incomplete. Honorable Speaker, I want to particularly mention the constituency of Bishop, seated next to me. Malulu, we went to his constituency, Honorable Speaker, and he has completed projects which draw back to those years which were still not completed. It is for this reason, Honorable Speaker, that the committee recommended that these projects should be funded and completed so that we can have proper utilization of public funds. Honorable Speaker, on top of that, some of the projects which were completed in those years, they are still not occupied. Honorable Speaker, that means the project priorities that were done at that time then, the priority has now shifted, and these projects are going to waste. Honorable Speaker, for this reason, the committee has recommended the National Government Constituency Fund Board should with immediate effect discourage partial allocation of funds to projects and ensure that projects are completed at most within 2 financial years. Further, Honorable Speaker, the National Government Constituency Fund Committee should ensure that proper costing of projects, especially at a time like now, when the price of materials has gone up, with proper consultation with the relevant government departments to ensure realistic cost estimates is done, to avoid, Honorable Speaker, pending projects which are partially done and not completed. Honorable Speaker, I say The Constituency Development Fund, Honorable Speaker, has made a significant impact with various constituency development projects being implemented throughout the country. Honorable Speaker, the success of the model of the Constituency Development Fund has been linked to the bottom-up approach because the projects for the National Government Constituency Fund are projects that touch the communities, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, this is a very good initiative, and I want to urge the members of Parliament, because a majority of these projects go directly to the local level and to help the local communities. I want to laud the members of Parliament, and I want to reiterate and say, if you go across our constituencies, Honorable Speaker, you can be able to account what the National Government Constituency Fund has done in this country, as opposed to the other funds that go to the constituencies. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the committee, and I want to urge the honorable members to support this committee so that at the end of the day, Honorable Speaker, the public resources that are given using this avenue can be properly utilized. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I second.
Very well. Honorable members, I now propose the question that this House adopts the report of the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements for the National Government Constituencies Development Fund for the 12 constituencies in Kakamega County for the financial years 2013-2014, 2014-2015, 2015-2016, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 27th July 2023. Now let's have some people have a bite on this, and I'll follow the list. Number one is Moses Malulu Injendi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for getting me this chance to say something about this. Malava is one of the constituencies that the committee look at the reports. I want to thank the committee for the good work. It's really indeed good. And also to appreciate for what the approach they have adopted, Mr. Speaker, of getting into a county and looking at all the constituencies within that particular county. However, Mr. Speaker, I would want to ask them, because when you look at these reports, they are very old reports, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2015, 2016, those are three financial years, but very old. I would request that when you get into a county, instead of looking at only 3 years and these very old years, why not focus on all the years that we have had a report on? For example, up to, maybe including last financial year. Because as much as we get this report, Mr. Speaker, to me, it's a stale report. I want to give you an example, for example, in this report, particularly for Malava. There was an issue on cash and cash equivalents. The committee, because of the audit reports that was talking of 2010 issues, 2010, 2011, 2012, the committee had to ask the fund manager about some receipts of those particular years. And among them, there was an issue affecting year 2006. So, Madam Speaker, we have a report before us for a parliament, for the 9th parliament, because the year 2006, that's the 9th parliament. We look at the year 2010 to 2013, that is the 10th parliament. Mr. Speaker, for example, now for me, we seated here, who is in this parliament now, those are very old years. Even the MPs who are serving then and who are directly under CDF, some of them have passed on, saying that this report then does not really become very useful to us who are serving presently, who would want really to understand, because you know now MPs are not really part of the CDF. We would want also to know how managers really are performing. Mr. Speaker, on this, I want to thank the committee, because from the report of the committee, Malava has been given a clear bill. Because of all the issues they have raised, the issue of emergency money being used on projects that are not meant for emergency, and land, I can see in the reports, land, the issue of land, where land has been purchased, but then there's nothing to prove, there's no title to prove that land was purchased. At least for Malava, I can thank even my fund manager, who was not there then, but he ensured all these items were availed for availing. Mr. Speaker, something else I would like to urge, maybe the board, to really follow strictly. The seconder of the motion congratulated me because I was one of the constituencies that ensured all projects that I found progressing, I ensured they were completed. But, Mr. Speaker, I really suffered because for 3 financial years, I committed funds just to complete projects of my predecessor. I would that the board can really look at this and really follow strictly that if there is any project Mheshimiwa is coming up with, or energy CDF board is coming, committee is coming up with, should be a project that must be completed within the term of that particular parliament. Because I also understand the board allows, you see, a particular phase of a project to be completed. For example, I can give an example. My brother is not here from Lurambi. There was a project, a huge project of 4 floors. The MP was there, only did a part of it. But the rest, the two MPs who have been there have not been able to complete, because the kind of money that's required there is the whole of CDF funds. Mr. Speaker, so I would that before they approve, they must ensure that this is a project that will be completed within the term of that particular parliament, for this case, 13th parliament. If it is a gorofa of 3 floors, then it must be completed within that particular period. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, I want to thank the committee for this. This is a nice report. This is like a mirror for ourselves to look through, that it projects what we are doing. And I want the Malava people, if they are listening to this, Malava constituency here, it has gotten actually a clear scorecard. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. The Honorable Wangwe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise first and foremost to thank the Honorable Gideon Mulyungi and your committee for taking your time to cut across the country to see, particularly Kakamega County, the 12 constituencies, on what so far we have done in CDF. Honorable Speaker, I have been the Member of Parliament for Navaholo, which is also part of the 12 constituencies, since 2013, when we began the constituency. I was the first MP, and I've run it all through to date, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the committee, especially for the issues that they have raised on cross-cutting issues. And I want to be very particular, Honorable Speaker. Look at the issue that they've raised, that there was poor coordination between the Office of the Auditor General and fund account managers, Honorable Speaker, particularly regarding the timely response to audit queries. This is an issue, Honorable Speaker, that affected my constituency, and it was raised. But later on, Honorable Speaker, after the queries had been put forward, and the auditor now raised it for subsequent review, I can see the committee has reported, Honorable Speaker, that the necessary documentations were later on filed with the Auditor General, and the Auditor General had reviewed and given my constituency a clean bill, Honorable Speaker. This is very true. Being a new constituency, Honorable Speaker, we had a lot of reconciliations to hand over from Lurambi to Navaholo. And Honorable Speaker, in the process of handover, receiving and commencing a new constituency, there were issues which are now being touched in this audit. But I want to thank the committee and also thank my fund manager, Honorable Speaker, that he indeed endured time and made the necessary submissions. And today, as we speak on the floor, Honorable Speaker, my constituency is cleared. There are no issues that were outstanding rather than presentation of papers, Honorable Speaker, to justify the expenditures, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, another cross-cutting issue that I would want to look at, Honorable Speaker, is the fund account managers, Honorable Speaker, experience challenges in adapting to the international public sector accounting standards, IPSAS, Honorable Speaker. This is an issue, Honorable Speaker, where unless we get a qualified accountant, Honorable Speaker, he might not be able to understand, and my constituent, Honorable Speaker, also experienced the same. And I want to request the committee, Honorable Speaker, in their recommendation, they've given us that by 2023-24 financial year, we need to employ accountants, whom, Honorable Speaker, in the year 2017, upon seeing what was happening in the accounts, I actually did engage a certified accountant in my office who is doing the reports. And Honorable Speaker, we are already compliant. And I want to thank the committee for picking it. And for those colleagues who have not done so, the committee has given you for 2023-24 that you do that, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish also to thank the committee so much in terms of, Honorable Speaker, the cross-cutting issue of instances of non-presentation of issued bursary checks, Honorable Speaker, where, Honorable Speaker, the checks are issued, but they are not presented for one reason or another, Honorable Speaker. This is a cross-cutting issue across our constituencies, and mine was not spared in terms of this issue. And that's why, Honorable Speaker, you could end up finding that there are balances on bursaries, and when the query was raised, the affected students or the schedules were filed with the Auditor General. And as we speak now, Honorable Speaker, my constituency is cleared of that, and I'm very happy with the fund account manager who handled this audit, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in overall, what I can see, Honorable Speaker, the report of the committee is a true situation of what is on the ground. The committee has reported as if, Honorable Speaker, they sit in the offices where we sit. This is a good thing, Honorable Speaker. A case like what they have picked in my constituency, Honorable Speaker, as the new MP, I had to put up a new office of the District Commission, DCC. And Honorable Speaker, the DCC was co-funded, the office was co-funded between the funds which were then in Lurambi sub-county, Lurambi constituency, added up to the funds which are now in the account of Navaholo. Honorable Speaker, that commingling of the funds had raised a query as into where did you get this fund A, money from pocket A and money from pocket B. And Honorable Speaker, upon the justification of where we got the funds being money belonging to the larger Lurambi constituency, the query was sorted and it is settled. I want to thank the committee so much for picking up such a small issues, but they represent the true fact on the ground as it happened. This is a wonderful report, and I just want to thank the 12th Parliament, Honorable Speaker, for having thought it wise that this committee be put into place so that let our constituencies also be oversighted from within. And Honorable Mulungi, I want to thank you and thank your committee for this report. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I support.
The Honorable Kuria Kimani. I know you did not get a chance to speak on the earlier matter that concerned the ladies' issues. Proceed now.
Thank you very much. You know, I really wanted to contribute to the earlier debate on the provision of these sanitary towels to our girls, but it's already gone. But if we may urge you, Honorable Speaker, and let this be the last time we are speaking about this. We talked about this, I think, 2 weeks ago. We spent a whole afternoon talking about sanitary towels for the girls. This House has already appropriated money for that, as in we should really not talk about it. But to the subject matter, Honorable Speaker, just to be, rendered out of topic. The genius in National Constituency Development Funds and the way they are run, Honorable Speaker, makes these funds the one fund that you go to constituencies across the country and you're able to identify projects that have been done, that have been completed, that have an impact to the people, that have been done at a very low cost, Honorable Speaker. Sometimes when you put side by side a classroom or constructed through NGCDF, another one just constructed next to it by infrastructure fund by the Ministry of Education, Sometimes you find the one the Ministry of Education has costs double the amount of money that the one which is CDF have costed, and the quality is not even comparable, Honorable Speaker. I have said at the floor of this House, I am a product of NGCDF through bursaries, through that time the patron was the former MP for Molo, the Honorable Mukiri Macharia Wakili. And if it were not for that bursary fund, I would never have seen my way through secondary school or through my bachelor's degree at Kenyatta University. And consequently, therefore, I doubt that I would have never seen myself being in the 12th Parliament and the 13th Parliament, Honorable Speaker. Allowed the report being done by this committee, and I like the recommendations that they're making, that the fund managers, that the CEO of the board be made the accounting officer of this fund. Because sometimes the auditors, when they go to audit, and sometimes when they go to verify whether these bursary checks have cleared, have been paid out to schools, and sometimes maybe the receipts are not necessarily available, or they do not take enough time to go through the documents. The reports on the papers, Honorable Speaker, allude that it is a member of Parliament from that constituency who has misappropriated these funds, Honorable Speaker. And it's very important to put into record that the role of member of Parliament is to be a patron of the fund and to provide guidance on how that fund is supposed to be spent, and especially providing oversight, something that is being done, for example, through the Committee on Special Funds, through the report that they have done on this Honorable Speaker. Because the assumption sometimes the members of the public have is that members of Parliament probably have a checkbook of NGCDF where they can just issue around anything to anybody or anything, Honorable Speaker. I allowed the report and the recommendations thereof that projects being done by NGCDF should be done to completion. When I was elected as a member of Parliament in 2017, most of the projects in Molo were being allocated piecemeal funds. So where a classroom, a project would be allocated money that is not sufficient to complete that project, so consequently you have to appropriate more money the following year and the other year. And we look at overall, the import of that is that there is no value for money. Even when you go to audit the project and find out how much money was spent on that particular project, you realize that it has very many gray areas. So the Constituency Committee of Molo, I have instructed, when we agreed that the projects that you are funding them from start to completion, so that you'd rather have fewer projects that are complete, and that way they are available to use for the users, and you get value for money, rather than having too many small projects scattered around the constituency, Honorable Speaker, that are not complete, Honorable Speaker. Through this NGCDF, Honorable Speaker, we have been able in Molo to transform completely the education sector, including now having two tertiary institutions. You know, the Molo Technical and Vocational Training College that's now training over 800 students from across the country, a project that was started and completed through funding through National Government Constituency Development Fund. We have a KMTC that we're really pushing the Nursing Council to give us licenses now to teach nursing courses at the school. The school has a population of more than 500 students, again, drawing students from across the country. And when these students come and study in Molo, they don't just, it's not just them getting the education, but they even spur economic growth in town. We pride ourselves on having other very great institutions like the legendary St. Andrews, Turi, very well-performing schools nationally like Marymount Secondary School, Molo Academy Primary School, Molo Academy Secondary, and very well-performing even day secondary schools like Jenga Karume, Albagon Secondary, Albagon DB, among very many other schools. And therefore, this has made us an attraction an education destination in Nakuru County, where you find most parents from across the county want now to come and bring their students to come and study in Molo, Honorable Speaker. And this, again, especially during visiting days, you find businesses like one Mama Kevin's hotel there in Molo town thrive, especially when there is this visiting, Honorable Speaker. In addition, we've used the fund to enhance dignity in our public schools. You know, recently we carried out renovations on several primary schools from the whole school. That is including my former primary school, Mwangi Muchuki, Mukinyai Primary School, Maria Shoni Primary School, Turi Suruguta Primary School. And it's amazing, Honorable Speaker, when we put tiles on those classrooms. You know, the students didn't want to go back home because they were feeling that the classrooms are now better than their homes. And I was telling them that is a sign that if they study hard, then they will also be able to live in tiled homesteads in the future, Honorable Speaker. And this is now enhancing dignity to these pupils. They feel that they are not children of lesser God because they are studying in an environment that has a correct infrastructure, Honorable Speaker. There was, for secondary schools, and I would really urge other members of Parliament, Honorable Speaker, the ministry is not very keen in funding laboratories or construction and equipping of science laboratories in secondary schools. And we have an even bigger problem when it comes to junior secondary schools, Honorable Speaker. And the challenge in this is that most of those students who are not able to afford to go to the big schools where they have this infrastructure, they get to have a limitation when it comes to these science subjects. You know, when you have a student going to sit for a KCSE, and that is the very first time ever they are probably seeing a pipette or a burette, then you don't expect them to compete competitively with the students from other big schools like maybe Alliance and Sarahi, all of the big schools. And Honorable Speaker, being a student of having gone through a day secondary school myself, you know, I've made it a point of making sure that all our day secondary schools in the Molo constituency have a complete and equipped science laboratory, Honorable Speaker. And we are 98% there. And I really urge also other constituencies to make sure they do this so that our schools have the correct infrastructure. The Kenya Kwanza Administration, Honorable Speaker, talks about digital highway as the next frontier of spurring economic growth, Honorable Speaker. And not just it being a Kenya Kwanza administration manifesto, but it's a global thing where we have people, I get to meet people all the time saying who live here in Kenya, but they actually work in UK, they work in the USA, and they probably only have to travel physically to the office once, some even once a quarter, even once a year. And so if we are able to enhance these digital skills and computer literacy to our students by constructing ICT laboratories in our schools, we have attempted to have a pilot one in one of a few of our secondary schools, and now having ICT hubs again across the wards as the Honorable KJ, the chair of CII, is encouraging us to do. For Molo, we have identified one to start at Sachangwan, and another one we're doing a Huduma Center in Molo town, and you're hoping that the first floor of that is going to be an ICT hub, Honorable Speaker. That this enhancement of digital skills is going to make sure that these learners get the skills that are required globally, and so that when they clear whether they clear their primary school or they clear their high school, then they are able to compete competitively globally for global opportunities. Because, Honorable Speaker, this world has now become a global village thanks to the digital superhighways and use of ICT information dissemination, Honorable Speaker. And with that, I beg to support this report and urge the House to adopt the report as proposed by the Chair of the Special Funds Committee. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well, honorable members. Supreme Care Academy, Kiambaa of Kiambu County, are seated in the public gallery, and I want to acknowledge their presence and wish them well as they continue watching the proceedings of this House. Next to speak on this matter is the Honorable Makali Mulu.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I want to join
What's your point of order,
colleagues.
Honorable Member? Makali Mulu, just take a seat. What is the point of order?
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Being aware that tomorrow is a public holiday, and from the look of the members present in the House, I would suggest that the quorum is wanting, and therefore we should call on to ensure that we have enough quorum to continue as far as the standing orders are concerned. Thank you.
You know, you have to mention the standing order on which you are actually rising on. Honorable Makali, you may proceed.
Standing order number 35.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, before that unnecessary interruption, I want to join my colleagues in saying congratulations to this committee led by my friend, Honorable Gideon Mulyungi, and the committee members. listening and reading through this report, Honorable Speaker, I think if we are to start discussing the success story of NGCDF, it will take a whole year for this House to conclude on that discussion. Because this country, everywhere, every part of this country, when you travel around, you see evidence of what NGCDF can do in changing lives of Kenyans, and more so, changing the lives of Kenyans in a positive way. So, when I listened to Honorable Gideon Mulyungi present this report and trying to isolate the few areas where we need to improve, I really want to say congratulations to that committee, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, a number of observations and recommendations have been made by this committee, and I want to single a few just to explain what is happening. The first one is a situation where we have projects which are started by members of parliament, and when there's change of leadership, then those projects are never completed. And what the committee is saying is that it is important that the national board make sure that all the projects being funded are completed within the time frame of that particular honorable member, so that we don't have these projects. But a rider to that, Honorable Speaker, is that if you do proper public participation in your constituency, you realize that the projects which have been funded by all the constituencies are actually projects for the members of the public or the voters in that particular constituency. And that's why, to me, I think, honorable members, the issue of you not completing projects because the person who was before you there has lost an election doesn't make sense at all. So I think we really need to stick to that particular recommendation and make sure that it's implemented so that when a project is started, irrespective of who is the sitting member of parliament, because we are patrons, that that project is completed for the benefit of the voters in that particular area and the rest of the public members who are in that particular area. The second point, Honorable Speaker, is the issue of the bursary checks, where they are saying bursaries have been issued, but the supporting document to show that this money reached the school might not be there in one way or the other. And when you look at this report, it is discussing from 2013 coming this way for 3 years. And Honorable Speaker, I think really I would want to support a recommendation which was given by one of the earlier speakers that when you go to a county, I think it would be good just to do a report, complete report from 2013 to date, because you find year in, year out, most of the recommendations are cutting across. And it would be good just to get the reports which are up to date, so that as we move to the future, then you don't have to go back to that count again and start from 2016. Because, you know, the more back you go, then the more the report becomes irrelevant in terms of application. And I think it's important we just sort one county fully, we go to another county, we sort it fully. And this matter of bursaries, Honorable Speaker, I want to agree with Honorable Kimani Kuria when he says that majority of us who are young, you realize that most of them would not have gone to universities, would not have gone to secondary school, were it not for those bursaries to the students, Honorable Speaker. And that's why I see the issue of bursaries, we need to take it very seriously as members of parliament, because actually these bursaries have transformed families. They have transformed individuals. You realize that a family could not have afforded fees at all. By the fact that you have managed to support one or two students, that family picks up and then they move forward. And I think this is really important. So we want to encourage our honorable members that when the auditor goes out there, Honorable Speaker, it would also be important before they start saying the accounting documents are not there, to take their time and look at, did this money reach the school? Because if it reaches the school and it's on a document which is not there, then we can ask for that document and it will be provided. Otherwise, it will be very unfair to have reports, Honorable Speaker, which are showing that money was never accounted for, when in reality, students have benefited out of that money. And I want to confirm to this House, Honorable Speaker, like my own constituency, if there's anything which has made me remain in this House and I'm at that time, is the issue of bursaries. So that when we support these students, Honorable Speaker, they really appreciate, their parents appreciate, and you think we have transformed lives. And that's the reason why they think the leadership is adding value to their to their lives, and then they keep on voting for you when the time for elections comes, Honorable Speaker. The other point, Honorable Speaker, and this is the issue, Honorable Speaker, of the board, the managers being the accounting officers. I totally agree with Honorable Mulyungi when he says that we are creating parallel centers of power, where you have the accounting officer at the headquarters here, and then you have another accounting officer at the constituency level. And this has, to some extent, pushed situations where fund managers are no longer answerable to the headquarters. And then they become like rogue fund managers. Because the board will always appoint Honorable Speaker at that low level, some of them are not able to control these fund managers. I'm telling you, Honorable Speaker, I've shared experiences with most of my colleagues here. There are colleagues here who have changed their fund managers more than 4 times since they became members of parliament. Basically because these fund managers do not realize that their work is to facilitate. They see their work as stopping implementation and harassing locals. They forget that this position is a political position, and there is always need to balance politics and the technical work. We are saying money must be accounted for, but at the same time, projects must be seen to be implemented. There are situations where there are unnecessary delays in implementation, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, even as we support this report, I really want to say the recommendations have been put forward by this committee. We take them seriously as a committee, as a House, and immediately we adopt this report, Honorable Speaker. The Committee on Implementation should immediately take action and make sure that these good recommendations are not lost and are implemented for the benefit of Kenyans. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, I was just wondering whether the wisdom of this House creating this committee was very good, but I'm wondering whether with 290 constituencies and about 47 counties, whether they will have enough time to sort out all what has been done within the 13th Parliament. However, I wish that this committee could be investigated more so that either we improve their budget so that they're able to go out more there, so that within this 13th Parliament, Honorable Speaker, we are able to look at all these special funds, and then we have our recommendations, and we sort this matter once and for all. With those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I once more want to appreciate Honorable Mulyungi for what he has done. And this is just a taste of what we have in Kitui County, Honorable Speaker. This is a taste of the kind of leaders we have in Kitui County. And I can assure you, as we move through the future, we will be seeing more of this kind of reports coming from that committee. I congratulate and wish you well. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity.
What's your point of order?
Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 35 on quorum of this House. Honorable Speaker, this House, I have a right to raise that point of order, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it is my right to raise that particular point of order.
Thank you. Thank you. The clerks confirm that we have quorum. The sergeants ring the quorum bell, the division bell, for 10 minutes. Honorable members, order. Order, honorable member. Take your seat. Mwalimu mwenzangu, take your seat. We are still in the House, and let's just follow the procedure. We see if we shall raise the quorum. Thank you. Order, take your place.
You can't leave the house when people are, what the bell is, they are leaving. What are you doing? Look at this. You cannot leave the house when the house.
Honorable members, remember you cannot leave the House now. For those who are inside the House, you cannot leave the House.
You can't leave.
If you did not leave, then Sergeant at Arms, take your place.
You take your own medicine.
Also, the members who are asking me for another point of order, remember the House is frozen, so I cannot give you a point of order now. So let's wait for 10 minutes. Thank you. Honorable members, order, honorable members. Order, honorable members, you may take your seats. Honorable members, you may take your seats, please. Just take your place. Honorable member, yes, you're a veteran. Honorable member, take your seat, please. Honorable members, a member rose from his place and drew the attention of the Speaker on Standing Order number 35 on the issue of quorum. We have since affirmed that there was no quorum at that particular time, and I've proceeded to have the division bell rang for 10 minutes. And till now, we still don't have quorum. And therefore, honorable members, you may rise. And the time being 4:52, this House stands adjourned until Tuesday, 24th October 2023 at 2:30 p.m.
Yes, let's proceed.
Let's proceed.
Oh, yes.
Let's proceed.